Welcome aboard, we're out here on the mooring for Surf's Up Build episode number 5. Bit of a different project for you guys today, something a little more old school boating. Episodes 1 through 4, we saw me install a lithium battery system with solar into my vessel. But today we're going to turn back the clock and in episode 5, do a little more of a traditional boat maintenance for you today. We are going to do some varnishing. This is a piece of teak that I have on my boat, really the only exposed wood, at least on the outside, that I have that I need to protect from the elements. The last time I went ahead and varnished it was in April, and it is now currently November, so not that long ago, but I didn't think I did a very good job. I ended up putting it on a little thin, and it already needs a new protective coat. I'm actually filming this intro here on day 5, so this is the final product. Be sure to stay tuned to see days 1 through 4 and see how you can end up with this nice finish here on your own vessel. As I mentioned a moment ago, I did already have some varnish on this piece of wood, but don't worry because I'll explain to you guys what to do if you have a bare piece of wood, the keys to prepping everything and getting it ready to be varnished, and then exactly how to varnish. Varnishing really isn't that complicated. It can be a little bit intimidating, but everything you will need you can see right here in shot. You'll need a medium and a fine grit sandpaper to go ahead and prep the surface. You'll need some tape to make sure that you don't end up with any varnish in places you don't want it. Some acetone to both cut the varnish as well as clean up any residue you have left over from the sanding. I like to apply my varnish with a foam roller because I have these big flat pieces of wood, and then with any bubbles I go back over it with a natural bristle brush. And finally, the varnish I use is Schooner Gold. The difference between regular Schooner and Schooner Gold is that the Schooner Gold is a bit thicker. It pretty much guarantees that you get 2 coats for every 1 coat of the normal stuff you'd put on, and that really does help cut down the time it takes to varnish. The way I see it, if you ever do need it to be thinner, you can always just cut it a little bit with some acetone, or if you're really being fancy and you want to splurge and spend a little bit more money, you can use the thinner 333 or the other brushing liquids that it is recommended by Interlux. Acetone is just kind of my cheap way to do it, but at least to me, the final product comes out just as nicely. You can find all these products listed in the description down below from Defender Marine. So with that, let's jump into day 1, show you guys what this thing used to look like and how to get it looking how it does now. I apologize in advance, the audio on day 1's not that great, but I get it sorted out for the rest of the days, so enjoy. Here we can see the teak brow I have across my boat, and every so often it needs to be varnished. You can see right here that there are spots forming along where the cover is wearing on the wood. Those are things that I want to protect and get covered up with a new coat of varnish now, because if I wait too long, I'll have to go ahead and resand this whole piece so that it still has a uniform color. And that is all the audio we're going to use for day 1. My windblown audio is just too bad to listen to, so instead you get my narration and a little bit of background music. Trust me, this is the way to do it. I have over an hour and a half of footage spanning 5 days for this video. Nobody's watching all that, and I don't have the patience to edit it. I hardly have the patience to varnish, no less watch myself varnish. So anyways, here's the quick and dirty of how to varnish. I start by prepping the surface with a light sanding. If you are starting on bare wood, you want to use a bit stronger sandpaper and give yourself a nice surface to start on. I'm using some light to medium grit over my old varnish because I need to blend together some of the damaged surfaces, and primarily because I need to scuff up the surface so new varnish will adhere to it. I'm extra careful not to sand too deeply as I don't want to expose any bare wood. I want to keep my current progress from the last varnish and don't want to have different thicknesses in different spots discoloring the piece. This is why I did it all by hand. You can use power tools, but you want to be careful not to introduce any burns or grooves. I've made that mistake in the past, and you can still see through the varnish where the sanders left its mark. Next, you want to clean the surface and remove all the wood dust or varnish dust. Rags and acetone do the trick here. In the original audio clip, I talk about how you should be doing this safely, so the narration version of me will mention it as well. This is a do as I say video and not as a do as I do video. Wear your PPE, mask, glasses, gloves, etc. And now that we got that out of the way, we want to make sure we have a clean surface and work area. We do not want any debris landing in our varnish and ruining our finish. Once that is clean and ready to go, I tape off all the areas I don't want to get varnish on, and then we are finally ready to mix. The back of the can does a pretty good job of explaining what to do here. This video is really just to show everyone it can be done. If you are starting with bare wood, you want to thin your first coat by 50%. This will help the initial layer of varnish absorb into the wood. Wood will soak up a lot of the initial layer, and thinning the varnish helps make sure the first coat covers everything uniformly. Since I am working with an already varnished piece, I don't really have to thin my first coat by much, but I'm going to still thin mine by about 30%. This will help in the areas I'd wear and had to blend with sandpaper. One thing to mention about my work here is that I'm using acetone to thin the varnish. This isn't recommended by the manufacturer. Acetone isn't made to be a quality thinner. It can fog your final product. I personally don't notice a difference and think it's fine. If you do care, there are more expensive thinners that are recommended to use instead. Now, for application. I roll my varnish on with a foam roller. I do this because it is easy, I can use a new one each time, and the wood I'm working with is a big flat plank. If you're doing a cap rail or something, then using a brush is probably easier. The one drawback of using the foam roller is it can leave bubbles. The bubbles really depend on a lot of factors like the applicator and the weather. I found mine mostly had to do with the heat from direct sunlight. I finished up my day 1 coat, and when I returned for day 2, the bubbles were pretty obvious. To fix this, I went ahead and did another round of light sanding. This knocked all the bubbles down, but was an unfortunate use of my time because if you apply the next coat within 24 hours of the first, you only have to sand every other coat. This means I got to repeat all the same steps from day 1, when in reality, I could have waited until coat 3 until I had to sand again. I did do a couple things differently this time though. I thinned my second coat of varnish less, this time only around 10%. If you're working with the bare wood, your second coat should be thinned around 25%, as the wood will likely still absorb some of your varnish like the first time. The other thing I did differently was lightly roll the foam applicator back over my applied varnish in an attempt to pop any bubbles that were forming. Normally this would be the job of a second brush, but I hadn't brought one in yet. Not until day 3. And on day 3, I arrived to find that I had a lot less bubbles. And being that I had just sanded and varnished the day before, I didn't have to sand this time. So I jumped right into a new coat with an unthinned varnish. You see, the point of varnishing is getting as much material onto the wood as you can before the weather changes and you decide to sink your boat out of pure boredom. So by coat 3, I am ready to start fully dumping the varnish on as thick as possible. If you're one of the people watching that is starting with the bare wood, I have good news. This is the point in the video where you join me and the instructions become the same. You can still thin if you think the wood needs it, but the can only recommends up to 15% thinner by this coat. And in more good news, I arrived at the brush to properly remove the bubbles this time. This means that you as the viewer can finally get professional advice from me, and it only took 3/4 of the video. The addition of the brush is so that I can use the roll and tip method of application. This is a pretty common technique, especially when applying paint. You can't get away without it while painting like I was able to do with this varnish. Rolling and tipping is where you apply some paint or varnish with the foam roller first, and then you or a buddy go back over the applied area ever so lightly with the tip of a brush. This pops all the bubbles, and due to the light touch of the brush, leaves no brush streaks. It actually works really well with paint. It is a bit stickier when doing it with varnish. The most important part is to use a really high quality brush. It's the reason why I didn't do it from the beginning, because the special Badger brushes are like $15 each. This one isn't even that, it's a synthetic replica of a Badger hairbrush. Anyways, it got the job done. Day 4 turned out to actually be more like day 5, because I had to sand on this coat. I left it alone an extra day to take a break, but as I have now gone over everything, I will leave you with my return on day 5 for the conclusion, where you can see the final product and experience my fatigue firsthand. All right, day 5, my patience is worn thin, and the walls have closed in entirely on me. It's not that bad, I am joking a little bit. However, I was planning on doing a final coat today because it is supposed to rain over the next couple days, and so this is kind of the end of the line for my varnishing of the season. However, I'm down here a little bit earlier this morning, and the moisture from the air has kind of officially hit the boat. I'm guessing it has to do with that rain that's coming later this week, but everything's wet, and normally, you know, I could just wipe it down with some of my rags, but it is gonna ruin kind of the tape seal that I have around here. I've got 4 coats on it, 4 thick coats. I think that that's gonna be good for now. I can always come back, retape it, and add more later. It's not the end of the world to continue in adding layers of varnish. You can see it's doing a good job. Where the water is, it beads, which is exactly what you want. You know, you don't want the water soaking into the wood, so it's got a nice protective layer. Let's go ahead and get this tape off, and I'll show you guys how it looks. This should end up looking really good in the sunlight. It's a shame we don't have any for you guys today. And just like that, on day 5, after an entire week of coming out here, really only takes like an hour or so to get all the way out here and go ahead and put another layer of varnish on. But we have a nice finished product. I'm really proud of it. I'm actually really excited for the next time I varnish too, because I'm getting closer and closer to getting rid of all of the little grain texture on this thing, and then it'll just end up being a nice smooth piece of something that looks like wood and will be protected for years to come. So thank you guys for watching. Hit the subscribe button and let me know in the comments down below if you liked this type of project. I know it's a little more generic and applies to a lot of different types of boaters, a little less specific to my vessel like the lithium battery was and the solar panels are. So be sure to subscribe and tell me that you like this kind of video, because I'm going to end up redoing these hatches here with paint, the hatch up there. I'm going to end up completely rebuilding these engine hatches down here below me, as well as doing some woodwork for the interior of the vessel. All of these will be projects that will teach you guys skills that you could take specifically onto your vessel and not just that has to do with my vessel. So thanks for watching and smooth sailing.